everyone, welcome back to a brand new week of Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 291 and today's topic is, of course, university days. What were your university days like? So let's talk about what those good old days were like. Now, for those of you that did tune in to watch our previous lesson, I did mention that some of our viewers may be university students. You may still be in middle or high school waiting to get into college, studying very hard to be accepted into the college that you dream to attend. So you can be much younger or much older. In that case, we all look back to our university days or college days and say, time has passed by so quickly. I wish I could go back to those good old days, university days, right? I wish I could. Time does fly really quickly, though. I can't believe I went to college more than years ago. Anyhow, let's take a listen to actual talk first and then talk more. Here we go.
Do you have any younger brothers or sisters?
I do, yeah. I've got two younger sisters, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so you might be familiar with this feeling. I was talking to my little cousin yesterday on Skype, and he's preparing to go to college now, which was like so shocking to me. It seems like just yesterday he was in diapers.
Yeah, I understand.
And now
exactly
he's going to university.
Yeah, they grow so quickly.
Yeah. Are your sisters in university yet?
No, they've one's just graduated, actually, last year. So I really know how the feeling is. Yeah.
Right.
And it's an amazing feeling. She went to a university just down the road.
Okay.
But what about yourself?
I don't have any younger brothers and sisters, but I have a lot of younger cousins. I'm the oldest cousin.
Oh,
so
wow.
It started to feel old when they started driving cars.
Yes.
I'm from Michigan, so there's no public transport. So everyone gets a car when they're 16.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, now they're going to university.
And what about yourself? Where did you go?
I went to school at Michigan State University.
Now, is that a big school? Because I hear it's quite big.
Yeah, I think it's considered in the category of Big Ten.
Wow, okay, and what does that mean?
I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if it's due to sports or whether it's actual student attendance, but it's one of the biggest schools in America.
Wow.
It feels like its own city. It's huge. From one end of campus to the other, it's like a 45-minute walk.
You're joking.
No, serious. What about you? Where'd you go to school?
I went to Manchester University.
Okay.
So obviously everyone knows Manchester because of Manchester United.
Right.
But we also have a university as well.
Okay.
So it was a really nice place to go, actually. It's a lot smaller than Michigan State and pretty much every other university in America.
Right.
But it's a nice homely feel. So you kind of know everybody on campus.
Yeah, I had some friends who went to smaller, like liberal colleges, and they really knew everyone. It seemed so strange when I was talking to them, and they're like, oh yeah, he's in my this class. Oh yeah. I went and walking around campus, they knew everyone.
Yeah, university days, hey, it's just a really nice time.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we had Mary and Martin helping us out. Well, in today's actual talk conversation, they did mention their university days, which schools they attended, what they studied, what going to university was like, what university life was like. And they also added some information, especially Martin talked about his siblings. I believe it was his sister, how she was going to college, I believe, very close by, very near their home, close to their home. So let's take a look at the detailed conversation together. Here we go. First of all, we had Mary saying, do you have any younger brothers or sisters? All right. Another way of saying this is what? I just mentioned the word, a word that starts with an S. Do you have any younger siblings? Would be another way, okay? A sibling is a brother or a sister. So if you want to ask, do you have any brothers or sisters? That's fine, but if you want to simplify it, you could also ask, do you have any siblings? S-I-B-L-I-N-G-S. So you could also ask, do you have any younger siblings? Or do you have any younger brothers or sisters? Martin says, I've got 2 younger sisters. All right, so he has 2 younger sisters, actually. Okay, so you might be familiar with this feeling. Okay. If you are familiar with something, you are saying that it is not new to you. It's common. It's usual. You're used to it. You feel comfortable with it. Okay? If something happens quite often, or if you see something quite often, it's not new. You are familiar with something. So she's saying you might be familiar with this feeling. In other words, very simply put, you might know this feeling. You might have felt this feeling, okay? And she says, I was talking to my little cousin yesterday on Skype. Okay, so she was talking to her cousin, and he's preparing to go to college now. All right, so he is preparing to go to college. He's getting ready to go to college. It seems like just yesterday. Here's our first pattern for today. It seems like just yesterday he was in diapers and now he's going to university. Let's take a look at this sentence over here, all right? Okay. It seems like just yesterday. Now this is what you would say, especially when you feel like time is passing by so quickly, or that time has already passed by so quickly. So you can say, wow, time passed by like an arrow. Are you familiar with that expression? Time just passed by like an arrow, like a bullet. You could also say, it seems like just yesterday. It feels like it was just yesterday, but so much time has passed. Okay? So she's saying it seems like just yesterday, just a couple of days ago, that he, meaning her cousin, was in diapers, meaning wearing diapers. He was a little baby, and now he's going to college. Wow, time flew by so quickly. And Martin says, yeah, they grow up so quickly. That's right, kids grow very fast. Yeah, are your sisters in university yet? Sisters in university, meaning are your sisters going to university? Are they attending university? Are they in university? He says no, one just graduated. So she just finished college or university. She just graduated last year. So one of his sisters graduated college last year. It's an amazing feeling, he says. Okay, here we go. She went to a university just down the road. Just down the road. What does that mean? That's also a pattern for today. If you say that something is just down the road, especially just is used to emphasize down the road. Down the road means close by. It can also mean in the future. So here he's talking about the location of the university. So down the road would mean close by, right? So she went to a university just down the road. Very close by, very nearby, just down the road. What about yourself, he asks. What about you? Okay, let's find out what Mary says. I don't have any younger brothers and sisters. She also could have said or. Okay, brothers or sisters, but I have a lot of younger cousins. Okay, she has many younger cousins. I'm the oldest cousin, so I started to feel old when they started driving cars. Okay, so she is telling us about her experience, the way she felt when her cousins, there seems to be a huge age gap, age difference, when they just started driving cars. It felt strange for her, okay? It was a strange feeling to see how her little cousins grew up so fast and they were driving cars. Now, she felt very old. I started to feel old, okay? She says, I'm from Michigan, so there is no public transport. Here's a vocab word, okay? There is no public transport. We're talking about public transportation, for example, okay? Now, you should be careful. Transport. When the stress goes on the first syllable, as I said, transport, it's used in the noun form. If it becomes transport, 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 sport, transport. Stress goes on the second syllable, it then becomes a verb and it means to move something, okay? So you can transport things from one place to another. But here we're talking about public transport. So stress goes on the first syllable. Public transportation, in other words. There is no public transport in Michigan. Everyone gets a car when they are 16. Everybody gets a car when they're how old? 16 years old. Now, Martin says, no way, I didn't know that. Yeah, and now they're going to university. Here we go. Now her cousins are going to university. Now, this itself could mean that they will soon attend university. It could also mean that they are right now, at present, attending university. So you need to listen very carefully to what else they mention afterwards. Here, Martin says, okay, and what about yourself? Where did you go? Okay, so the stress is on you. Now we're going to talk about Mary, I guess. She says, I went to school at Michigan State University. So this is the school that she went to, that she attended. I went to school at Michigan State University. You could also say, I went to Michigan State University. Okay? Both works. Nothing's wrong. You can say, I went to school at so-and-so university, or I went to so-and-so university. They're both fine. Moving on, he says, now, is that a big school? Because I hear it's quite big. You can also say, I heard it's quite big, but to stress it, you can say, I hear it's quite big, meaning that you have heard that it's big in the past, and you keep hearing from a lot of people. Still, continuously, many, many times, that something is true. In this case, that Michigan State is a big school. So she says, yeah, I think it's considered in the category, in the group, okay, of the Big Ten. So, you may wonder what Big Ten is. Mary does explain to us briefly what Big Ten is, but basically we're talking about the major universities in the U.S., for example, in the Midwest, that are considered to be really, really good universities, especially for their academic standards or even, athletic competitions. So she says the school is considered in the category. It is included in the Big Ten, okay? Okay, he says, what does that mean? What does that, the Big Ten, mean? She says, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if it's due to sports, it is, or whether it's actual student attendance, okay? All right. Attendance could mean the students present at that school, meaning the students that attend that school. It could also mean that you are there, present, okay, the state of being there. So just to make it clear, that is true. It does have something to do with sports, maybe not exactly the number of students attending those universities, but just think of the Big Ten as the 10 best universities or universities considered to be the best, okay? She says, but it's one of the biggest schools in America. The college she attended, Michigan State, is one of the biggest schools in America. It feels like its own city. It feels like its own city. What does this mean? She's saying that the school is so big, perhaps the campus is huge, it's massive, that it feels like it's a city itself. The school is very big, it feels like a single city, okay? It's huge. From one end of the campus to the other, it's like a 45-minute walk. Wow, that really is a huge school. So if you say that something is a 45-minute walk, if it is a 30-minute walk, if it is a 10-minute walk, you're saying that it takes 10 minutes to get from one place to that place. In this case, it takes 45 minutes on foot, okay, from one end of the campus to the other end of the campus. So it is a huge campus. You're joking, he says. No way, that can't be. Now, Mary says, no, I'm serious. What about you? Where did you go to school? So this time we're asking Martin where he went to school, okay? So Martin says, I went to Manchester University. So obviously, everyone knows Manchester. Why? You know Manchester. Because of Manchester United. That's true. Because of Manchester United, a lot of people know Manchester. But we also have a university as well. So that is the university that Martin he attended. It was a really nice place to go, actually, he says. It's a lot smaller than Michigan State. Okay, so it's not a huge school. It's smaller than Michigan State. And pretty much every other university in America. So he's saying it's smaller than Michigan State and probably all the other universities in America. But it has a nice homely feel. Homely, do you remember what that word means? Homely means very comfortable and cozy. Okay, so it's a very comfy, a cozy feel. It's a very nice environment. So you kind of know everybody on campus. It's a small school, so you know everybody on campus. You know all the other students at that school. He says, university days, okay, it's just a really nice time. When you say university days, basically you're saying, wow, those good old days, right? The days when I went to school. You're talking about those good days, especially if you want to talk about those days when you attended university, and especially if you enjoyed those days. If it is a better time than now, you can say university days. And yeah, that wraps it up. He says it's just a really nice time. Okay, so that is all for today's actual talk conversation. Let's take a listen to it one more time.
Do you have any younger brothers or sisters?
I do, yeah. I've got two younger sisters, actually.
Okay, so you might be familiar with this feeling. I was talking to my little cousin yesterday on Skype, and he's preparing to go to college now, which was like so shocking to me. It seems like just yesterday he was in diapers.
Yeah, I understand.
And now
exactly
he's going
where
to
you're coming from.
university.
Yeah, they grow so quickly.
Yeah, are your sisters in university yet?
No, they've one's just graduated actually
Okay.
last year, so I really know how the feeling is. Yeah.
Right.
And it's an amazing feeling. She went to a university just down the road.
Okay.
But what about yourself?
I don't have any younger brothers and sisters, but I have a lot of younger cousins. I'm the oldest cousin.
Oh,
so
wow.
it started to feel old when they started driving cars.
Yes.
I'm from Michigan, so there's no public transport. So everyone gets a car when they're 16.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, now they're going to university.
And what about yourself? Where did you go?
I went to school at Michigan State University.
Now, is that a big school? Because I hear it's quite big.
Yeah, I think it's considered in the category of Big Ten.
Wow,
which
okay, and what does that mean?
I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if it's due to sports or whether it's actual student attendance,
Okay.
but it's one of the biggest schools in America.
Wow.
It feels like its own city. It's huge. From one end of campus to the other, it's like a 45-minute walk.
You're joking.
No, serious. What about you? Where'd you go to school?
I went to Manchester University.
Okay.
So obviously everyone knows Manchester because of Manchester United.
Right.
But we also have a university as well.
Okay.
So it was a really nice place to go, actually. It's a lot smaller than Michigan
Okay.
State and pretty much every other university in America.
Right.
But it's a nice homely feel. So you kind of
Right.
know everybody on campus.
Yeah, I had some friends who went to smaller, like liberal colleges, and they really knew everyone. It seemed so strange when I was talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's in my this class. Oh yeah." I went and walking around campus, they knew everyone.
Yeah, university days, hey, it's just a really nice time.
Yeah.
Are you ready for actual expressions? I think I hear a yes. Okay, let's get started then. Here we go with familiar. Familiar. If you are familiar with something, you are saying that you are used to something. It's not really new to you. You feel comfortable with it. So if something is well known, familiar. Common, even usual. These are some synonyms for familiar. Now, keep in mind, it's 3 syllables. Stress goes right there. It's familiar. It's a Y sound. Okay, let's try 2 more times. Familiar. Familiar. Good job. Moving on to transport. As I told you, if it's a noun, stress goes on the first syllable. If it's a verb, stress goes on the second. And it will become transport. But here it's transport. Transport, we're talking about public transportation, a system of public travel. Transport. What about category? Category, we're just talking about certain divisions, just general divisions, or even groups of something, a class even. So class, division, section, all are similar words, okay, synonyms of category. Attendance, participation, appearance, even the persons or persons at present, the people that are there, people that are attending a university. Okay, at present at that location would be attendance even. Moving on to our first pattern. It seems like just yesterday. Just yesterday. Just is used to emphasize, stress that it really feels like time went by so quickly. Okay, here we go with a sample sentence. It seems like just yesterday we went out on our first date. I can't believe it's already been 5 years. So, you are stressing that 5 years had passed by so quickly. It seems like just yesterday that we went on our first date. But wow, we've been together for 5 years. Okay? Here we go. Down the road. Down the street, down the road. Okay? It's close by. So down the road means that it's close by. It can also mean in the future. But we took a look at down the road with the close by definition. Here it is. My house is just down the road. Just is once again used to emphasize that it's very close. My house is just down the road, about 3 minutes on foot from here. On foot basically means, well, if you walk, it takes 3 minutes from here. So it's just down the road. It's very close. It's nearby. University days, I told you. We're talking about an earlier time in life when you attended, when you went to university or college, and especially when you want to stress that those were the good old days, better times, okay? I remember my university days. Those good old days. This is what you could say. If you enjoyed your university years, try saying, I remember my university days, those good old days. Okay? Okay, so please do go over these patterns and vocab words more on your own. Job well done.